Hi everyone, so how's everyone doing? I've actually managed to get Wi-Fi at last. I've been meant to do this video this morning, but where I was, the Wi-Fi was terrible. So I just made a decision to, I'm trying to get, there's enough light here. I made a decision to just not do the live there because I tried twice and it just kept cutting off. And then I just thought, you know what, I'll wait till I get home, and I'm home now, so I've definitely got good Wi-Fi here. And I just wanted to come online with this because what I've been doing recently is I've been doing live videos on my business page, and I'm going to be doing that this afternoon as well. Hi, whoever's online, say your name if you want to, or just join in with the conversation. What I'm trying to do is I'm doing some live videos on my personal page, and a lot of them are related to sometimes relationship stuff or personal development because they're the things I've got an interest in, and also as a counsellor they're the things I work with. But occasionally I'll just do a live, hi Karen, you okay? Thanks for joining. And occasionally I'll just talk about stuff that have come up, because I do watch a lot of videos on YouTube, I do read a lot of books, and if I find a really good book, and I think it would be of interest, or if I listen to something, then that's why I do the lives on my personal page. But the majority of my videos will be on my business page, which is NU Journeys Counselling. And what I wanted to talk about in this video was something that came up when I was watching something on YouTube the other day. Now, Bishop T.D. Jakes is a famous or well-known, he is a pastor, but he's also a motivational speaker, because that's sort of how I see him as well. He does talk on a lot of issues and lots of relationship stuff he talks about, lots of obviously religious stuff because he's a pastor. And one of his speeches, he's got a few that I listened to the other day. One was talking about being single and what to do whilst you're single, and one was talking about being single again, so once you've been divorced or long-term single. Yeah, well, divorced or just come out of a long-term relationship. That made no sense. Hi, whoever's online, thank you. And it just made me think, really, because what he was trying to say, and I've never heard it sort of said in that way, because obviously there's lots of people talk about being single and what to do whilst you're single and all these sorts of things. But what I've found, oh, Karen, you've put, I'm in a situation now, do I end the relationship and be single, or do I stay? I love being single. Well, this is the thing, Karen, like, you're in a lot of situation that a lot of people find themselves in, where people sometimes are so afraid of being alone, or so not wanting to be alone, that they will settle for relationships that they don't really want to be in. Those relationships are making them unhappy, or they might be not even having relationships, they might just be going from like person to person, and it's to fill sometimes a void. And I'm speaking from my personal experience as someone who's I was in a long-term relationship, and actually from the age of 17 I was dating, and every time I'd come from one relationship, I didn't take any time, I'd just move on to the next relationship, all through my 30s. And then the relationship I was in previously, the last one, I made the decision to end that because it just wasn't working. And I think you can tell when you're unhappy for majority of the time, then to me, I don't think that relationship is working, because that person isn't the person to make you happy. But if you're unhappy as a result of being in a relationship, you might as well be unhappy on your own. At least you'll be able to fix it, maybe, because you'll know what the reason is that's making you unhappy. But what T.D. Jakes was saying was that you have to view yourself, whether you're in a relationship or whether you're single, as a valuable person, and you have to see yourself as being a whole person, so that when you enter into a relationship, you're coming in from a place of power and a place of like confidence. Because he said, you're then looking for someone who's gonna, not to complete you or someone to compete with you, that's what he said. You're looking at someone to complement you. And I like the way he said that, because what he was saying is that if you're looking for someone to complete you when you're single, it means you already see yourself as being a fraction of the person you are. You don't view yourself as valuable enough. So you're probably going to choose someone who you're going to consider as being, this person makes me a better person. You know, when you hear, well, that's not a bad thing to say, but you know when you hear people saying, I'm lucky to have this person, without him I'd be nothing, or without her, you know, I'm punching above my weight. And I've talked about this before, and I just think, I know in some cases people are joking, but what you have to understand is you're coming into that relationship with that things that you've got to offer, and you've got to feel worthy of that. Because if you go into a relationship and you're already on the back foot, you're seeing yourself as being beneath that person. I think that's where a lot of the issues start, because that person sees your vulnerability and then they're able to kind of be really controlling, or they're able to say, well, because you don't value yourself enough, you're going to do anything to keep me. And as someone who's, like, at the moment I'm single, but I am dating, I'm going on dates and I'm meeting lots of different people, and everyone keeps saying to me, you know, every time I've been on a date, excuse me, but I've got this selfie stick because my tripod isn't working properly. I'll go on dates, and then for me, I think I need to have like that spark, that connection, and I need to say to myself, I'm going to continue on like a second, a third date or whatever. And it is difficult, I think, but do you know what? Previously, I probably would have been that sort of person that would settle. And what I mean by that is, I don't use that term settling in a negative way, because I think people take it to mean that you're saying you're going for someone who's lower than you, and I don't see it as that. Settling means when you know what you want deep down, where you have an idea, whether that's in a job, whether it's in a relationship, when it's in anything, you have a clear path and a clear idea of what you want, but something within you doubts it. And therefore you say, well, I'm not going to get it anyway, or I'm not capable of achieving this, so I'm just going to take the next best thing. And TD Jakes was saying you have to be comfortable with being alone until you find that person. And it might take ages, but you just have to have patience. It's the same as in a job, isn't it? And the same as in a business. I'm not going to get 7 clients like from the get-go, or 20 clients, or my business isn't going to like have 150 grand in the bank. But I do walk around with £150,000 cheque in my purse, and every time I look at it, that cheque's been written. I got that from Jim Carrey, because he walked around with a cheque for the amount of money he wanted, and he did actually make that money. My point is, yeah, when you settle, what you're saying to yourself and to the universe really is that you don't think you can get that thing that you want. So instead, you're just going to take what's here right now. And what else did he say? Give me a second, because I did write down some of what he said, actually, because it was quite a long speech. I should have been more prepared, shouldn't I? Yeah, so he was just talking about, that's it, when I just mentioned about the competing, complementing, or completing, complementing, or competing with. So I just want to break that down a bit. What he said was that people can either see them, if you see yourself as valuable, and if you're a single person and you are looking to get into a relationship with someone else, your aim should be that they're going to complement you. And that comes into some of what I've been talking about in other videos, about having similar backgrounds, lifestyles, compatibility, because compatibility is something that I don't think enough people take into account. You know, if you're going to spend the rest of your life with someone and you're not compatible with them, then all you're going to be doing is compromising for the rest of your life. Because compatibility, whether it's sexual compatibility, whether it's compatible lifestyles, whether it's compatible, the fact that how you communicate, compatible personalities, that's not going to change, because that person is that person, and you're going to just spend your life either trying to turn them into who you want them to be, or compromising and just being different yourself so that you do fit with each other. So he said really you should look for someone who complements you. You know, you fit together, you just work. You know, sometimes you see couples and they just work with each other. They're just made for each other. You can just tell, they just bounce off each other. There's this like magic vibration. Doesn't mean that they don't argue, but it just works. So he said complement each other. He said what you don't want is someone who's so like needy and so insecure and so like lacking in as a person. They've got so much things going on for them that they want that person that they meet to be everything for them. So this would be someone who's just had lots of like bad relationships, and maybe they haven't done the work themselves. They've just got really negative feelings about the opposite sex. So when they meet this person, they want that person to be everything. You know, you've got to be perfect. You can't lie to me. You can't do this. You can't, if you forget my birthday, if you do this, if you do that, then you're, and I think putting pressure on a person to be perfect which is what you're basically doing, is like the wrong way to start things, because that person's never going to live up to it. Plus, it's not their job to complete you. You have to complete yourself. So it's about you doing the work. And then he said the third one is competing. So, you know, when you've got maybe, I think this happens probably in like celebrity circles as well. It happened, I think, with like Katie Price and Peter Andre, because they were both like a really high profile couple, because they were both like good looking. He was known for his music, she was known for like glamour, and she was just, they were both known. It felt really competitive when you sort of observed them together. They're always trying to get one up on each other. And you find that a lot as well, where people are like, you're my partner, but you know, they're still like in this jealous, competitive net state. And he said that that's never going to work either in a relationship, because you're going to spend all your life competing against that person. And you're not really supposed to be competing against your partner. You're supposed to be in unison and working together. So thanks for joining me, Karen. Obviously I said I want to keep this a short video because I've got another live video that I'm doing at 2:30, and that's going to be on my business page, which is NU Journeys Counselling, and I'm going to be talking about moving on from past relationship, which I know there's a lot of people that struggle with that. And I'm going to be talking about some of the discussions I've been having in my relationship groups with people, not using people's obviously words. Thanks, Karen. And I think, yeah, what you've said there about you love being single but not sure about being in a relationship, I think the thing to think about is, I think you have to look at it in two ways. Percentage wise, you have to look at how much percentage of the time am I unhappy when I'm around this person. If it's coming like 60, 70, 80% of the time, the person makes me miserable, but then 10% of the time, oh, it's really good. It's about reconsidering like what's going on there. But then you also have to look at not just the other person, what's going on for you. Are you going through something in your life that means that the relationship isn't working? Because it's not always about the other person, it could be what you're going through. And then I think, yeah, it's just doing old-fashioned things like writing the pros and the cons of staying in the relationship. It's looking at whether you've both grown apart, you know, how long you've been together for. Do you need couples therapy? Do you need some time apart where you can just be single for a bit? And that's about negotiating with your partner. I'm sure if someone's in a loving relationship and they need time out, usually their partner will be okay with that. And that's it really. So thank you everyone for watching. And this is on my personal page. Sometimes I do transfer it over to my business page. But if you want to go over to NU Journeys Counselling at 2:30, you can see me on another live video. But you can also go on there to make a counselling referral. Obviously, I can't counsel my friends, but you can share these videos or share my information with your friends, or you can refer people to me. And thank you to everyone that's done that. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Karen, you've put catch you later, right? Pros and cons. Okay, brilliant, Karen. Let me know how you get on. Send me a personal message if you want. Thanks for everyone for watching, and take care. Bye.